Hey there.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
Really good. How about yourself, Brad?
I am super fantastic. Couldn't be
Welcome to another fantastic show of the Therapy on Zip podcast. Today's going to be an interesting one.
better. Always interesting, Tom. You throw out that little tease that keep people like, oh, we got to really tune into this one. But you know what? They need to tune into everyone because they're all so interesting.
They are all interesting, and we'd like to make it even more interesting for you. So please send in your comments, questions, critiques, anything. Send it in to us. Questions at therapyonzip.com.
Questions at therapyonzip.com. And this one came in, and people are, there's a lot of jokes that may go along this one, but this is a serious topic. And if it's a problem for somebody, it's a problem, right?
Yes.
So this one came in that they wanted us to discuss pornography addiction, chronic masturbation, get into the nuts and bolts of those kinds of issues.
Yeah. And you know what? There'll be some innuendos and some jokes that come up, but all kidding aside, of course, let me preface this and to your point, that this is a serious affliction that people are suffering from that we have an opportunity to help with and to help them, recover and regain their strength and resilience
Mhm.
over addiction. It's addiction. And
Right. It's like any other addiction, Tom.
yeah, and it's challenging. And of course, when I texted you about it, I loved your your response, and it was something along the lines of, "I'll rub out some research or something like that." And
But
but that's who we are.
that's who we are. We got to be true to ourselves. So, but it is a serious topic, and addiction is addiction, and it comes in many forms in many ways. But what's different about pornography, porn, or masturbation is there's so many. It's taboo, right? There's so many morals, religious overtones that come along with it, and a lot of people feel guilt because it goes against their religious upbringing or their religious beliefs. So
Yeah.
not only can it be problematic in their lives, but it also like tears at their personal morals or religious values, which
Right.
makes it even more debilitating.
Right. So then they're engaging in it because of this drive that they have,
Right.
and because all over TV, the
Mm-hmm.
internet, social media. I mean, sex sells. And
Right.
so it gets you to click, it gets you to invest your time. And so it's all over. So you can't escape it. And so you already have that drive as you are a human being and an
Mm-hmm.
animal, right? I mean, not like you're an animal, but like you're human.
Yeah.
Like that's part of our drive. And so if it's being triggered 1,000 times a day, and 10,000 for men, right? Then like you just see it. There it is. You have this urge to engage
Right.
in that, and it becomes a challenge. Just like when we talk about food addiction, it's hard
Mm-hmm.
because you have to eat, like
Right.
okay, if you're addicted to alcohol, marijuana, heroin, whatever, you don't need those things actually, like to survive, but you need food to survive. And, part of our survival is, like sex.
That's Yeah, absolutely. It's part of who we are. It's part of our DNA. Our lives are happier and more fulfilled when we have a robust and healthy sex life.
Yeah.
And for some people, it's not. It has no impact on the religious or moral values. So that's
Right.
different. Let's talk about just addiction for a minute. And we talk about alcohol, we talk about food, we talk about those things. Even marijuana. It, people use different things all the time, and it's not a problem until it's a problem. And when
Right.
it impacts your life, your health, your relationships, your work,
Mhm.
then it becomes a problem. Alcohol, you have a couple of drinks a day, that's probably not a problem, but alcohol becomes a problem when it impacts your ability to work, your relationships, your close personal relationships, your health, and in the face of all of those, you can't stop.
Hmm.
You know that it's impacting your relationships, your work, and your health, and you can't stop. That's an addiction.
Yeah.
Food is the same way, right? You need to eat every day, but when it impacts your health, your relationships, and you cannot stop, that's an addiction. It's the same with masturbation and pornography.
Yeah. And okay, sex with an intimate partner is very good. We embrace that. We celebrate that. We want that to occur. Even you being able to explore your own body and pleasure yourself, that's good. That should be embraced and accepted. Now, of course, if it goes against, what your belief system and your, religious affiliation, okay, we're not talking about that. You do what you feel is right, but as therapists who are not, endorsing any kind of religion, maybe some spirituality, but that's something that is okay. You should not feel guilt nor shame. Guilt
Mhm,
being I feel bad about an action that I performed, shame being there's something fundamentally wrong with me. Just wanted to make that distinction. But you should not be or feel those things regarding if you are engaging in sexual congress with your partner, with your trusted partner. Maybe there's some risky behavior if you're out there slinging it, and having multiple partners. Okay, that begs for let's talk about that. Maybe
right.
that's concerning. Maybe that's a little bit risky. But you engaging in that with yourself, on yourself, can be just fine, wonderful thing. In fact, couples therapy, I encourage couples to do that in front of each other. That way, the partner can see what it is you like. I mean,
Yeah.
what a wonderful thing to engage in that, to be vulnerable and to explore with your partner. But to your point, talking about addiction, and I love this definition from Andrew Huberman, addiction is the narrowing of things that give us joy. And
Mm,
so if you are noticing that it's interrupting your ability to function and perform and do those things that you need to do to take care of your responsibilities
mm,
because of looking at porn or because of chronically masturbating, then that's a problem. And that's what we really need to talk about. And it's become a huge problem for our younger population.
mm.
I,
Because it's everywhere. I mean,
yeah.
if you're looking for it, it's not hard to find. It's
Oh,
out
yeah.
there.
They can
And
access it quickly. I mean, they're on social media. That's part of their lives.
mhm,
Snapchat and Instagram and TikTok, and it sells. It gets views. If somebody's, half naked on there, it gets a lot of views, and that gets promoted and pushed, and it becomes part of your algorithm if you spend more than 2 seconds looking at that. And then all of a sudden, it's just every video, every reel, every posting that you're seeing is somebody needing some validation, a thirst trap, so to speak, and you engage with it. And people who have problems and where that becomes an addiction, they can't seem to stop. It triggers that, and of course, men when we're young, like we have like toxic levels of testosterone
right,
running through us. I mean, you remember what it was like to be a young, man,
right.
right? Like,
The wind blew too hard, and it was like, woo!
right, yeah, a commercial, right?
The Sears catalog.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I remember that. Yeah. Why is the Sears catalog under your bed? Who's the wish book? I was looking up gifts
Right.
for Christmas. Hmm,
Uh-huh.
sure,
Uh-huh.
sure.
I might need some new socks.
Yeah. You,
Anyway,
you're always asking for socks, but
right.
they're always in the garbage.
Whew. The other thing, to talk about with addiction is, another sign of addiction is you need more and more of it to get the same level of pleasure.
Right.
So when maybe it's okay that you were looking at porn, a couple times a week, whatever. But now if it's every day, and if it's 2 hours a day, and you need to watch more and more of it, or
Right.
the content of the porn gets more exaggerated or more intense or more diverse. Maybe that's another sign that this is a little bit too much.
Right.
um, and if you're ignoring your partner, because of this is a replacement for the intimate relationship you have with your partner, that could be a problem as well.
Right, because think about the energy and the time that you're spending on that that is being taken away from you putting forth that time and energy into your partner.
Right.
And
The other
if
thing that I'm
Oh
sorry,
yeah,
go
I
ahead.
mean if you don't have a partner and you're just it's with yourself and you're engaging in looking at pornography, think about all the other things in your life that you want to do and accomplish that you're sacrificing any of those goals that you have for yourself.
Right. And the other thing that can happen with that is you have your brain changes into what actual sex expectations are.
Right.
You see, have these different ideals, or different things that happen in porn, the body images, and what healthy sexual interaction may be.
Right.
Pornography is very different than real life. I mean,
Right.
you
Very
know,
much so.
the worst thing you can do is jump into a new relationship and think you're a porn star, and go for 4 hours and 37
Right.
positions. Yeah.
One thing about how the brain works, okay, we start to make associations and connections to things. So if if you are watching these filtered models or airbrushed or and pornography that's very racy or very diverse, then you start to make these connections, especially if you make yourself feel good. You're getting a hit of dopamine and endorphins, and then that connects you, in not great ways to that thing that you're watching and consuming. And so then when you're out there trying to, have a relationship or be intimate with a partner, you don't have that same kind of connection because it's not what you were viewing or watching.
Right. Yeah. So it's an addiction like anything else, but it has some different overtones to it. So, and there's a lot of guilt and shame that go along with that.
Yeah.
So that's what we see. What I see when I talk to people is the shame that goes along with that.
Yeah.
Why do I do this? Why do I feel compelled to do this?
Mhm.
What's wrong with me?
And there isn't anything wrong with you.
Right.
Except for if this becomes an addiction, it's not that there's something wrong with you, it's that we need to control and manage the addiction.
And another thing about addiction, Tom, how many times have we seen someone that comes to us that has an addiction or has had an addiction, and they've quit the one thing, but they jump right into something else.
Yeah, they
And
just trade one for the other.
exactly, because it's the same thing. You're
Yeah.
doing this to get a hit of dopamine, so that you're getting that feel good chemical that goes through your brain. And I remember I worked with this couple. This highlighted it for me in the most exaggerated way. This guy was a really bad drug addict, and married whatever for years, and finally kicked the addiction. Great. I mean, the wife was ecstatic, the guy was ecstatic, no more drugs, whatever. And now he restores cars 18 hours a day. So he's in his garage 18 hours a day, still ignores his wife, still is compelled and composed to do restoring these cars, and he's so happy and proud, and look what I've done, and showing me pictures, and look
Right.
at this and look at that. And it's still like, yeah, I mean, that's a healthier addiction,
Mhm.
but it's still an
What's the
addiction.
cost?
At what cost? You're
Yeah.
still ignoring your wife, you're still ignoring your family, you're still everything else is taking a back seat to what is bringing you that pleasure.
Yeah. I've
So
had couples where they find out that their spouse in secret has been looking at pornography, and they feel so less than that there's clearly something wrong with why are they not attracted to me? Why are they not putting that time and energy into me? And that may not be the case, but the more that they engage with the addiction of pornography, then the less energy and time they have for their spouse. So even if they're not, even if they weren't set out to, hey, I'm not attracted to you, I'm gonna go look at pornography, it becomes that way.
Right. And it generally, from the cases that I've worked with, that's not the case. It's not that they're not attracted to you, it's just different.
Yeah.
So,
Now, if you're open to it, maybe, okay, watch a little bit of that together and then, turn it off or have it on in the background and uh, focus on each other. Hey,
right.
that's something you should try, maybe.
Hmm.
Or, how about you just turn it all off and don't go back to it and then explore and engage with your partner? Because if you're watching pornography, and it's like you said, it's very intense or diverse, or, like there's, you know, I don't even want to describe
Non-traditional.
what's out there. Yeah. Um, it's not going to be as exciting for you, the traditional, so all the means, all the more reason to try to avoid that. And I think it's to your benefit. I mean, there are studies that show that it really significantly affects our brain in not good ways, the more that you consume that stuff.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, just like, and people are going to fight me on this, but a lot of gaming. I mean, it desensitizes you to,
Yeah.
the realities of what is actually happening.
Mhm.
And of course, most people say, "Oh, a video game is so different than real life." You're absolutely right. I mean, they're two
Yes.
completely different things. But when you are gaming for, 10 hours a day, every day, and then like binging 24 hours on the weekend, you're filter between gaming and reality gets thin
Mhm.
because the gaming is your life.
Yes. Remember, we expressed you are and you become what you consume. What are you
Absolutely.
consuming? What are you eating? What are you watching? What are you taking in? What are you absorbing? You will become that becomes your
Who are you
world.
surrounding yourself with?
Yeah.
Didn't our parents always tell us? Well, I know who you are by who you hang around with. Ooh, what the hell?
It has an impact on you. It has influence.
Right?
Yeah.
For sure.
So, and there are both men and women out there who engage in chronic masturbation, and it's a part of their lifestyle.
Mhm.
And when we say chronic, we mean that it's reoccurring and it gets worse over time. So that's not a great thing because it's sacrificing time and energy that could be spent on something else. After you have an orgasm, you feel good, but you are also tired, exhausted, right? Like you're in that blissful state. And that feels really good. Imagine if you're like that all the time. It would feel tremendous. However, would you take anything seriously? Would you
Right?
be able to, engage in that fight or flight? Like, uh, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if you're just
Yeah.
always in a high, blissful state, even though
Right.
that sounds wonderful, you wouldn't accomplish anything.
Right.
And
And
people use it as an escape.
for sure. But let's not forget on the flip side is if you use it as part of it's part of your life, masturbation, pornography, whatever. It doesn't impact your morals or your religious views. It doesn't interfere with your relationships. It doesn't interfere with your health, your anything else. Then absolutely go forth and enjoy. It's a
Right.
can be a great and natural, just like having a beer or a cocktail
Right.
with dinner. It could be a great thing. It's relaxing. It's a great thing. It's
Yeah.
when it becomes too much. It's when it interferes with your relationships, when it interferes with your health, your time, your work, your enjoying the rest of your life. Then it becomes a problem.
There's wisdom in this. You've heard this before, Brett. Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you can successfully do that and you can have a robust, intimate relationship with your partner and you can enjoy that with yourself and have a relationship with yourself and it involves you consuming that stuff, but it's not interfering, to Brett's point again, it's not interfering with your life and your ability to tackle goals and improve and grow and have good friendships and have a good, relationship at work and career and, then okay,
Yeah.
enjoy that. Just be mindful of when it starts to invade other things in your life. Is it
Mhm.
getting in the way of you having the life that you want to have? And if so, then we have to take some steps to delay the instant gratification of that.
Mhm. Absolutely.
And how can we lean to moderation? What would that look like for you? Okay, how many times are you fucking jerking off, right? Like, is it twice per day? What would moderation look like? Twice per week? Would that be healthy? Could we do that and to delay gratification and allow that to occur on a Friday evening, and then on a Saturday evening? Maybe that looks that way.
Right.
Are some people of the sort that maybe they need to be abstinent for a while? We can explore
Mhm.
that, talk about it.
And then be careful of jumping from one addiction to the next.
Because that's how it goes with some other
Yeah. We see that so often, and
addictions,
it goes from one thing. You know, there's those compulsive people that just jump from one
Did
thing to
I
the next.
lose you there for a second?
No, I'm here. I hear you. Anyway, we have those folks that jump from one thing to the next. So just be careful of that. Hello.
Hey, who, what, when, where, why? What happened?
Sorry, Tom. I had to step out for a minute. Just I needed a moment.
Did you? I know what you did. Yeah. I don't know what happened with that, but hopefully it's all recording. It's still recording, I think. So
Yeah.
anyway,
All
pardon
right.
me. All this talk about pornography. We needed we needed a moment.
Needed a moment. But
Oh,
I was just saying, be careful of jumping from one thing to the next. So,
yeah.
and
Well,
then,
Zoom came back on and we figured it out. So I mean, figured.
eh, but
Sorry. Anyway,
well, that was good. Always a fun time to talk with you, Tom.
yeah, for
Boy,
sure.
there's nothing we won't talk about, is there? Now I think we put a challenge out there to people. Questions at Therapy on Zip. We're going to get the okay, challenge accepted. Now talk about,
Talk about this. Okay. All right. We'll
okay,
see. We'll see.
hey,
We'll talk about anything. Mhm.
yeah, sure. Why not?
Send them in. We'll talk.
Tom, what could possibly go wrong?
Hey, if if I asked for a referral and somebody said talk about chronic masturbation and porn addiction, and we did
Absolutely.
talk about anything.
Yeah.
So, what has your experience been with what we're talking about today? Send in your comments or questions at therapyunzipped.com, and then let us know if you want us to keep the conversation going about this or anything else.
All right. Yeah.
Ooh,
We're here for you. Let us know what you want us to talk about
yeah.
because
Thanks.
we're going to talk regardless. So
Yeah. Thanks, Brad.
thank you, Tom. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. I'm reminded during this episode of the contest. I'm a big Seinfeld fan, and I remember that that episode, the contest. Man, that was great.
I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. I want in. He was like, "You'll be out before we get the check." Anyway, thank you. We'll see you soon.
All right. Goodbye.